Hey guys, it's Chris here. Just really excited about doing a new boat review for you guys. Was really lucky to get my hands on this new 2018 PSE Carbon Air Stealth. This is the new 2018 carbon boat that PSE came out with this year with a all new carbon riser. You'll probably notice right off the bat there's no bridge from last year's Carbon Air 34 and 32. The riser, the bridge is no longer there, so that is really a cool feature. This thing, you can see the lines. It just looks amazing compared to last year's boat. And I have last year's boat. I'll probably do a little bit of comparison to that boat, just to give you an idea of some of the upgrades that were available on this boat and some changes that PSE made. Because I've only shot it a few times, but I tell you, I really liked what I saw, and I put the bow in the drawboard, and they've made some really cool changes, probably enough for me to warrant even upgrade. As much as I like the Carbon Air 34 that I have, I probably see myself trying to pick up this boat. So I guess that'll be an expensive thing to do, but hey, it's what we all do every year anyway. So let's jump into some of the things that PSE did with this bow and just go over some of the specs. I know you can find a lot of this online, but I'll just make it real quick. They shortened this bow an inch. This is a 33-inch axle-to-axle bow, which is just, in my opinion, a great medium for a hunting bow. They did shorten the brace height down to 6 inches, which is still plenty long enough for any type of hunting scenario with thick clothing, a jacket. You won't ever have an issue with that. So it's a 33-inch axle-to-axle, 6-inch brace height. This bow is rated at about 342, 344 IBO. It picked up a little speed over the 34 from last year, probably because it's an inch shorter and the brace sight's a little shorter. I didn't notice it on the draw cycle at all. This cam is still so smooth, this Evolve cam. This is the full-size Evolve cam. I'll touch on the smaller SE cam just a little bit here in a moment. But I didn't notice really any difference in draw cycle. I shot this bow back-to-back with my Carbon Air 34. I took all the stabilizers off my 34 just to see the difference in the hand shock. And I'll say this bow is probably just a little deader in hand. And when you have a bow that weighs 3.2 pounds like this bow, you're going to feel some shock in the grip. If you don't, then you're shooting a 700 or 800 grain arrow. But it's all gone with a stabilizer. But even with nothing on this bow just has a whisker biscuit and no stabilizers. It's a little deader than last year's bow, which is a huge plus. That means they probably stiffened up the riser, which I'm sure they did. That's why they went to this design. A couple things too that they changed for this year's bow is this new cable rod system. This is a flexed roller guard. Last year's bow had a hinge off of the bridge where it swung out like a swing door. This year they've gone to a flexible roller to also eliminate some of the torque and the riser torque and the lean in the system. So one of the cool things that they adapted from the Target bows is this adjustable cable rod. So if you have a minute tear either way, you can adjust this cable rod in and out to change the load on these cables, and you can affect the lateral knock tear, which is a really cool thing. And that's been around on some Target bows for a little while, but they put that on this bow, which is just another tuning plus. Another thing that you would do on this bow, which a lot of people know, is if you have to make any shim changes to affect the lateral movement, that's not hard to do. I did mine last year and got them shooting perfect bare shafts, and they are just darts with broadheads. So that's another way you can tune this bow. One new thing PSE did for this year is they took their strings in-house. These are called live wire strings, and I was told that they're BCY 452X, which has been around now for a number of years. It's probably the most stable string material still out. There's maybe a couple more that might be 1 or 2 feet per second faster, but there's probably not a more stable material than BCY 452X, so that's a big plus in my opinion. I wouldn't say there'd be really any reason to change these strings unless you just want to change for colors. So another thing that they did, which was a huge benefit. When I got to looking at this bow in the drawboard and setting up the center shot on this bow, I noticed that the arrow wasn't quite running dead down the center of the limb bolts. And so I really started looking it over, and I can't believe it took me a few minutes to notice that this bow has an offset grip to the inside this year, which is common on some other brand bows that I've shot in the past. That helps eliminate some of the riser torque that you can find. and why a lot of times your pins always are pointing way outside of your arrow or your center shot. People say, why do my pins line up? And it's because of riser torque. So one thing PSE did, and you'll see that when you get your hands on this bow, when you look down the limb bolts, the grip is offset now, which is a really, really cool feature that they added into this bow that wasn't on last year's bow. When I saw this, I actually took last year's bow and measured everything and eyeballed, and I said, yeah, they've really moved it in. Probably, I don't know the specs, but 5-6 millimeters, a pretty noticeable amount. And you can see, you probably can't tell from this video, but if this is the limb pocket going straight up, the grip is actually all set to this side some. The center line of the bow is really about here on the grip. So that's something new for this year, and we'll kind of see how that plays out in the whole tuning when I really have some time to get my own bow and really break it down. So that's something that I'm interested in learning more about. I'm going to shoot this bow a few times. It's just as quiet as last year's bow, if not quieter. And again, it's got a little less shock. This bow is a 60-pound bow, and it pulls, I mean, as smooth as you can imagine. It's at 28 inches. I haven't shot it through the chronograph just because it's not fully tuned, and I didn't think that'd be fair. So I haven't weighed anything and done a full breakdown. I just want to give you guys a comparison of last year's bow. So let's take a few shots, and you can see this bow from the rear. Let's put it here. I'll kind of go through the draw cycle like I normally do. Really nice neutral grip. I like shooting off of the riser. It rolls. There's no dump, just like last year's bow. It just rolls right over. And you can, I'm not going to try to get dangerous with this, but I mean, there's really no creep in this evolved cam. I mean, you can sit, and if you want to relax, you can. It's not going to take off on you. It's just as smooth as you can imagine. Let's take a shot here. You can see the bow didn't jump forward. It actually just moved a little to the left, which a stabilizer would take all of that out. And I hope you could hear how quiet that was, because it's really, really quiet. Let's do that again. If you shot this evolved cam, you know it loads right at the beginning, and then it's just decreasing the whole probably back third and rolls right over. You can see it did the exact same thing, just barely turned this way on the shot. So, again, I'm checking my time. Let me check the time real quick. I know I don't like to get these videos too long. Well, we're about 8 minutes. Try to keep it under 10. So, I think this bow is going to be a home run again for anybody that's looking for a carbon bow, wants to take it, make a lightweight bow. I like the carbon bows because then I can hang more stabilizer weight on my back bars and have a really nice stabilized bow, and the bow still not be a tank weighing like 8 pounds. My hunting bows have a good bit of stabilizer weight and only weigh about 6.5 pounds, which to me is perfect. So again, I think they have hit a home run. If you shot the Evolve Cam last year, you're going to love this bow. Be prepared to take a debit card, credit card when you go. So that's probably the best advice I can give you, because it's pretty sweet. Last but not least, I wanted to make sure I went over the new colors for the year. This bow is available in black, Mossy Oak Country, and then also new for this year is the Cryptic, I believe the Highlander, which I would love to see this bow in a full Cryptic. I think that would just be absolutely sick. I don't know if you can do the riser in one color and the limbs in another or not, but it wouldn't make any difference. If a full Cryptic bow like this would just, I mean, it would be pretty impressive, I think. So anyway, those are my initial thoughts about the new Carbon Stealth, the 2018 bow. Hopefully I'm going to have the other aluminum bows. I'm really excited to shoot the new React, not to go in the other bows, but and also the Expedite, the new speed bow. Oh, I knew I was forgetting something. The cam system for this year has some different modules available. If you want to put what's called the FL mod, that's the fast let-off module on this bow, you can do that. And I think it drops the let-off down to about 75%. And this bow picks up about 6 or 8 feet per second and gets right at 350. So I haven't shot that. I would like to, just because I'd like to know how much creep it's going to have. And I mean, you've got a 350 feet per second bow with a 6-inch brace height that's not a speed bow. So that's another great option. They made a couple more things that you could, tune into this bow and have some more options for more people. So go check it out. Hit up your PSE dealers, and hope everyone enjoyed the video. Next time, see you.